Payne, and I'm from the Taiwan press team. And now I'm here with Mr. Wesley Rogerson to do an interview about how has MUN impacted his future career and what words would he like to share with young adults of our age.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Wes Rogerson. I work for the United Nations Foundation as their Officer for Global Health Advocacy, and it's a real honor to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So the first question I have for you is that why do you think sustainability is an important objective to attain in the contemporary society?
No, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, it's absolutely clear that no matter what we do as a human race, progress will be made one way or another. Cities are going to continue to grow bigger, families larger, sometimes in case pollution bigger too. And that means that not only do we have a lot of fantastic opportunities, but a lot of challenges that we need to really start focusing on. So when I think about sustainability, I think about finding ways to address the challenges that we are coming up day after day, whether that's gender equality, making sure that people have equal access to education, regardless of what sex they're born as or where they're born, by alleviating poverty, by making sure that people don't go hungry in the streets, but also about creating a world that we want to live in and have generations to come live in, whether that's creating sustainable cities like Taichung so far, as my great tour here so far, has been really amazing to see how clean it is, how much ownership people take on a day-to-day basis over keeping it that way, but then encouraging those practices to be in cities across the world. And that's something that we really need to focus on both as individuals, but also as a global society. So I think that continuing to drive forth of the Sustainable Development Goals and the SDGs is super, super important. So conferences like this are great opportunities to highlight that.
Also, what motivated you and what steps have you taken to become who you are today?
Well, that is a big question, but it's a good question. So, I mean, first and foremost, I wasn't always the globally minded person I am today. I actually used to want to be a doctor domestically in the United States. My mom would have wanted it that way too, but I think she's still pretty proud. But I think what changed things for me is I attended University of Miami in Florida. And there was a unique opportunity to engage with not only Americans, but so much of the global South, people from Latin America, Central America, Caribbean, who were all there to pursue an education, to better their lives and their families back home. And that really opened my mind. So though I was originally an athlete, I ran track and field and cross country. These are not my medals, but I wish I had won some of them. I was injured. And I had to take that same competitive spirit with me. So, learning through Model United Nations as a great lens, it gave me a chance to really realize the world's a far bigger place. And the problems that we face are both local at home with us, but also global around the world. We share a lot of these same issues. So I think once I realized that and had the opportunity to engage through these, through the United Nations Foundation and organizations that we partner with, it was an amazing way to kind of develop a career that was not only sustainable, just like the SDGs, but also something that could make a bigger impact and make us better global citizens.
Yeah. And speaking of your career, in what ways do you think your job has changed you? Are there any moments of epiphanies that you've experienced so far?
Well, absolutely. And I think actually every day I have an epiphany. Working with my colleagues on the grassroots front, basically working with champions across America to highlight global health issues and what the United States is doing about it and what we should be doing about it, really inspires me. I don't joke when I say that I think I work with the best of America, and I don't joke when I say now I think I work with the best in Taiwan as well. With that in mind, I will say that when people take it upon themselves to learn more about particular issues, and not only just learn and educate themselves, but one another, that's amazing. That's the first step in creating a better world. Because once you know something about an issue that you yourself are passionate about, it gives you the tools in your toolbox to actually do something about it, to fix a problem, or at least instruct people on how they can do it themselves, right? And I think that once you realize that is the tool, conferences like these are the first steps in so many people's journeys in creating a better world for everyone. So I think that's an epiphany I'd love to share with everybody here.
In what ways do you think MUN has shaped you?
Well, I would tell you first and foremost, I wouldn't be sitting here with you if it wasn't for Model UN. Not just because you guys are hosting a fantastic Model UN conference, but because Model UN was an opportunity for me to re-examine what I wanted to do professionally and really understand how important diplomacy is as a means to create global change. Like I said earlier, I used to run track and field, and when my career was cut short, I started a new one in Model United Nations. And having the opportunity to not only participate as a delegate, like many of your guests are doing today, but also participate as an organizer, it gave me an opportunity to see that we can change lives through the lens of the United Nations. And I think that Model UN really helped springboard me to an opportunity to not only use those skills to educate people, but also to advocate for particular causes, and use those same caucusing and debate skills to highlight the importance of the UN's work, even in the most conservative political offices I may be welcomed into. So I think that Model UN has both given me the professional skill set necessary to succeed as a political enthusiast in DC, as an advocate in DC, but also the passion to do it on a day-to-day basis, no matter how hard the issue areas may be.
And finally, are there any words that you would like to share with young adults or like MUN participants to encourage them in continuing MUN and to join forces in supporting the achievement of global goals?
Absolutely. I will say, first and foremost, Model UN is an incredible tool to really understand how important it is that we all take up ownership of our global citizenship, of our responsibility as people of the earth, right? It's a great opportunity for you to learn in a hands-on capacity to what the UN's doing day to day and how we can support that mission. And I think that once you understand it, it's really up to you to advocate for it, to champion policies that you believe in on a national level, to encourage people to follow suit with the global goals and really, make the world a cleaner place, a better place, a more equal place. So that way, whether you're talking about your neighbors at home or people in developing countries across the globe, that we all have equal opportunity to succeed. And I think that Model UN is really a way that you can continue to learn and also take on some of those skills, take on some of those tools in your toolbox to become an advocate for change. And whether that's something that you learn here today or something that you learn in the near future, I guarantee that you'll be able to succeed, especially with fantastic staffers like yourself leading the way.
Thank you. And I think that's the end of the interview.
Well, it's been my absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.